Okay, and we are back yet again. I did promise to read every single fucking one of these abnormalities. I did promise it. There was a few people who reminded me, and I went through a few of these to just look, and like, oh my, this will take like 2 hours. Because, look at this shit. Hold on. Abnormality records. Look at this. Stop. Please stop. Just, oh my lord. It just doesn't end. And it's not like it's just one. It's like, oh my lord, right? Like, come on. Calm down. Holy fuck. This is gonna take so long. Funnily enough, like, oh my, oh, you're a slime girl. What the fuck? You have so much lore. Okay. The one thing that's awesome though, awesome, you get the idea, is that usually item abnormalities have close to no lore. They have just this lore and that's it. There is nothing else, right? So, at least I'm saved from those, but like every single normal abnormality is fucking long. Yeah, like look at this shit. It is so long. Holy fuck. So I am gonna try and smack every single bit of it into a single video. It's gonna probably be like 2 hours of just reading abnormality roar. So if you're not into that shit and you don't really care, but like, you know, I did promise it, and if I can, I'm gonna uphold my word. I did say that numerous amounts of times. Tomorrow, we are gonna go back into Library of Ruina. Don't you worry about that. We are gonna complete that world too, all the way to the end, to the true ending, by the way. But, you know, I did promise it, so I am gonna uphold it. To me, though, like, absolutely fuck me. Teddy Bear has this much... Okay, whatever. Let's start with Scorched Girl death. It takes the form of a burned girl to ashes. Even though there is nothing left to burn, the fire still doesn't extinguish. A matchstick impales the girl's body like a stake. Steak? Steak? What? Steak? What do you mean by a steak? Okay, oh no, I'm thinking of the fucking gambling... Okay, whatever. Ignore me. Oh my lord. I am that down bad. Okay, never mind. Usually the match is always lit, while the abnormality shows no signs of activity. Because of this, employees often speculate that the matchsticks may be the abnormality's true body. However, recently the ashen figure was seen crying, according to witnesses. Except from abnormality specialist Dr. Redacted's research log. The charred body represents the child's crumbled hope, while the ever-blazing flame represents the obsession for affection. It's always in conflict with the contradiction between those two. We paid a boatload and that's what they have to say? Exempt from recorded staff conversation. Well, she's like a ticking time bomb. No one can really tell if she's in a good mood or not. We just have to hope that we won't be the one blow up. We won't be the one blow up before entering the containment unit. She won't get any better. We can only try and keep her from getting worse. Except from counseling log. I never thought the abnormality would be able to escape. Maybe we were getting careless, but it seems that all it could do was burn up the match stuck in its body. Yes, our response was a bit late, omitted. Most abnormalities that try to escape would attack the employees in front of them, but this one didn't show any aggression towards the nearby employees. Instead, it headed to a different department, the most crowded place in the company. If we didn't suppress it at the door, half of the employees here wouldn't be in one piece. Okay, so she's basically a bomber. Basically, yeah. Okay. Jeez, fucking hell. Okay, this one will be long because it's like one of the main abnormalities for the lore, from what I remember. Let's go. A silent abnormality that understands the conflict between good and evil. Its empty eye sockets stare at all those who encounter it. A giant skull that is attached to a cross. It wears a crown of thorns. It floats about 2 meters above the ground, while its appearance is bizarre. It is rare to record an incident of violence against employees involving this abnormality. It feeds on the evil that seeps out during conversations between people. The assigned employee must kneel before it. Standing appears to be acceptable, and present their evil by confessing their sins to it. The way it feeds is unknown. Whoa. 1 sin and 100 of good deeds. That's... huh? Except from experiment records, we have catalogued the sins a person can commit into 3 levels. Level 1, a small lie or action that either goes unnoticed or can be shared in jest. Level 2 sins are more serious, only shared with the closest friends. Level 3 sins are so profound that they cannot be shared with anyone. Those will be taken to the grave. Employees redacted had been assigned to confess a level 1 sin. Energy production via abnormality increased by 12%. Employee redacted was assigned to confess a level 2 sin. Energy production via abnormality increased by 15%. We assigned employee redacted to confess a level 3 sin. 1 minute and 48 seconds after the employee was sent in, a bright flash of light was seen. The light was so bright that it could be seen outside of the containment unit. Immediately following the light, there was a facility-wide power outage. The phenomenon lasted for 2 hours. Employee redacted lost 6 years of their memory. Further experiments were cancelled. Scientific ethics decree that all footage of those participants in the experiment is to be kept sealed. However, the incident left us no choice but to review the footage of the containment unit. Employee redacted. Whoa. This happened during redacted at around 4 PM. Anyways, there was a railway about 20 minutes from my house. Some of my good friends and I decided to dress as forest animals. One of us was choose to go as a deer. What the fuck? It was a crude costume. It could hardly be called one, to be honest. Just a pair of clumsily made antlers, a dark outfit with some deer-like spots on it, omitted. I don't know how our dear friend wandered into the woods. We didn't even notice he was missing for maybe an hour. We searched for him and finally found him in some bushes. We called out his name, and I'm not sure it was from relief or finally finding us, or what, but he started sprinting towards us. And that's when we heard the gunshots. Bang, bang, bang. When I came to my senses, I saw his blood splattered all the way to my feet. After that, no one of us dressed up as animals ever again. That's all. By the way, this is really supposed to work. What the fuck? This sounds so real. This sounds some shit like you find on a fucking old YouTube, right? That's crazy. This sounds like this would happen in real life. I believe some drunk ass Russians or Polish people would do this. No, you two, like Russians and the Polish, are always this crazy. They, like, brother, go put on a deer costume and go into the woods and then get shot by a fucking hunter. Of course. This even sounds shit like I would do. Like, brother. Okay, this does sound like shit I would do. What the fuck? Okay, observation log 4-435. Its eye sockets are empty. It is a skull after all, but I doubt it's blind. It certainly has its gaze fixed on me, and I can somehow feel that it's listening to me. Confessing to it does lighten my heart, admittedly. Afterwards, we investigated the incident in the employee's hometown to get a better picture. We learned that a boy named Justin was shot and killed in a deer costume by hunters. I fucking knew it. During hunting season, unlike the employee's confession, Justin was repeatedly bullied by other kids. Witnesses said they heard the kids shout, "Run, Justin, run," right before the gunshot. After the incident, the kids at the scene moved out of the town. The deer hunting was banned in the area. Oh, so it was that bad. Holy fuck. Except from Abnormality Research Log X-392. Okay. Honestly, you can expect all of our employees to be honest confessions to that skull. Around every 1 in 10 employees will tend to say something that is not completely true. It is a bit different from a lie. You can say that it's employees will tend... Wait, what? It's a subconscious excuse they make. They distort perspectives to justify their actions, even though they are aware that they should be telling the truth. Once this happens, the confession is no longer truly a confession. Yes, I'm talking about you, trying to justify your tardiness for 5 minutes now. Okay. So this abnormality is basically go and confess yourself, and it somehow feeds off of that. So basically, the more bad shit... What if you don't have anything else to confess, right? That would be, like, would it just go crazy or would it just go dormant? I mean, it went dormant, I'm guessing, right? I mean, I saw it in the facility, like, for 50 days it was dormant, even when I wasn't using it that much. That's interesting. Okay, we have my favorite little girl. That sounds so bad. Why do I keep saying that? Okay, never mind. FBI list, here we go again. The Queen of Hatered. A humanoid abnormality that looks like it would go and fight villains for peace and justice at any moment. It is friendly towards every employee and is able to engage in casual conversation. It believes that it is a hero born to save the world and takes considerable pride in it. When it shows signs of anxiety or doubt while conversing with an employee, its appearance and personality will undergo an adverse change within 4 days and will display symptoms of dissociative disorders. What? What the fuck? The definition of good and evil are fixed in its mind. Some assume that when the abnormality believes leads to a horrible doubt about the existence of evil, it will choose to become evil to negate that doubt. Oh, that's why she goes schizo sometimes. All parameters will return to normal after the negative phases passes, and the abnormality will have no memory of the behavior it exhibited during that phase. Audio log -1. Employee. How are you feeling today? Magical girl. Good. The world is at peace, and it's quiet around here. Peace is a great thing to have. It means there aren't any villains around, right? Audio log -2. Employee. You're looking a bit down today. Magical girl. Still fine. The world is peaceful and its abnormality fell silent and did not wish to continue speaking. Omitted. Audio log -3. Are you alright? Magical girl. Why is it still so peaceful? You see, the whole purpose of my life is to defeat villains. It's as if the world is trying to say it doesn't need me. Really? Why is it still so peaceful? Oh, did I mention that I'm a magical girl? To keep the world's peace, I was born, but today it's quiet. The abnormality continues to murmur incoherent words to itself. Audio log -4. The abnormality endlessly murmurs to itself without even noticing the employee in its containment. Magical girl. The world can be divided into good and evil. I am the one on the side of justice. If I am the one of good, then someone has to be on the side of evil. Without someone to play the villain, I can't exist. Then who is going to protect the world? Audio cuts out. Audio log -5. Level 3 or above access required. This is a part of an audio recorded obtained during the rampage on the date of redacted. The abnormality used a radio installed in the facility to call the emergency planning team. Continues sobbing. Employee. This is the emergency planning team. Please identify yourself. I think I did this. I can't stop myself. It's my fault. I ruined everything. I betrayed the people who were kind to me. I don't remember why I did this. Could you elaborate on what happened? I don't know. They aren't moving. There is so much blood. I'm sorry. I'm really sorry. Omitted. 3 bodies were found in the containment in the abnormalities containment unit. The abnormality lost all memory of the incident afterward. Oh, so she never remembers her rampages. She just always remembers her being a magical girl that will go and save the world. Oh, that's kind of sad, no? Because she technically doesn't even want to be evil. She just is. Wait, is that even like a bad thing? What am I even saying? I'm not gonna lie, I really like this lore about this one. That was really cool. I didn't know she was unaware of it. That's cool. Happy Teddy Bear, HE. An abnormality that resembles a large ragged teddy bear. It's missing some fur and only has one eye. The old ribbon around its neck hints that it may have received much affection from its previous owner. There is a name on the ribbon, but it's too tattered to be discernible. Discreditable? I don't know. It seems that it knows it has been abandoned and looks dejected. Excerpt from counseling log. I was on the night patrol. I didn't feel the need to pay attention to the happy teddy bear, since it was harmless for the most part. I just looked inside the containment unit to check on it. Teddy bear was hugging someone tightly. I thought it was redacted. The employee who was in charge of the teddy bear for a while, working late. But something was odd. I entered the containment unit and called Redacted's name, but he didn't answer. I immediately pressed the emergency button to call reinforcements. Turns out Redacted has been in a coma for 8 hours. Holy fuck. They were in the teddy bear's arm the whole time. And all letters stamped with rejected. What? Okay. Remember what was written in the employee manual. Do not have personal feelings towards abnormalities. At first I didn't get what that was supposed to mean. Does it even make sense to develop any emotion towards those monsters in the first place? It's okay, they are monsters. Between the two of us, we can call them that. Happy Teddy Bear was the second abnormality you took charge of. I guess you must have been not... Wait, what? You must have... Let me start it again. I guess you must have thought that not all abnormalities are monstrous after seeing it. The figure of an old, abandoned teddy bear may have brought up old memories of yours. Teddy seems to like your hugs. Yeah, it would actually produce more energy when you were around. And in no time, they put you in charge of Teddy. You probably felt some kind of a responsibility for it, right? I started getting worried as you visited Teddy's unit more and more often. It felt as if you weren't visiting an orphanage for volunteer work. Huh. It seems Teddy saw you as its new owner. Maybe you'd have been happy to hear that. But you see, Teddy never wanted to separate from its owner ever again. You probably always promised that you'd return, but it couldn't understand. I heard that you miraculously survived, and that they spent an hour trying to separate you from Teddy's embrace. Though all others may forget about you, I will always remember you. May there be a miracle. Oh, so it is extremely highly unlikely that once you are basically tied to the teddy bear, to separate again. That's really... Ooh, okay. And there was only one recorder that actually was able to basically snap out of it. Okay. Fuck. The red shoes. A pair of elegant red woman's shoes. The design is antique, but there is no telling where and how they were made. It overwhelms the mind with the urge to try them out. The changes that occur from the wearing the abnormality are first visible in the eye of the wearer. The next observative change is that the wearer is unwilling to take off the shoes. They will also act upon any and all desires that they may have subconsciously suppressed. If someone attempts to hamper them for acting on their desires or tries to take off the shoes will control its host, which sometimes leads to murder. What the god damn. It is unknown whether the host is involved in the process, but taking into consideration the sharp increase of one's desires and aggressiveness, the host's primal urges seems to remain intact. Excerpt from counseling log. Redacted was a nice person. Well, they were also kind of a celebrity. They always told us that our job was something to be proud of. They knew how to deal with all kinds of abnormalities. But it was our biggest mistake to let them enter that containment unit. We never thought a pair of shoes, of all things, would do any sort of harm. At some point, Redacted was wearing the shoes, grinning from ear to ear. It was, it was quite strange. That wasn't a smile, it was omitted. Blood was all over the place. The tapping of the shoes echoed in the corridor. I closed my eyes and I played dead. I saw one of my colleagues' head rolling around the floor. The shoes stopped right in front of me and stood still for such a long time. Eventually they moved past me. And that was right when I passed out, omitted. I heard they couldn't take off the shoes and they had to cut off their legs. No one ever saw Redacted again after that, but those who've been here long enough will record the incident. Holy shit, okay. Chop your own legs off to get rid of this abnormality? Fucking hell. Footage from corridor camera Z3-493. Redacted 1. So the work on your part is all done, right? I just finished mine. The little magical is still the same state. It's so frustrating. Wanna grab some coffee at the lounge? Redacted 2. You know, Redacted 1, there is something I've been thinking about for a long time. Redacted 1. Let's talk when we get to the lounge. I'm too tired right now. Hey, are you wearing shoes? only staff footwear is allowed during work. Redacted 2. That's not important, redacted 1. What's important is that we're alone at the moment. Redacted 1. What are you talking about? Wait. What exactly are you wearing at your feet? You didn't wear it, did you? Redacted 2. Redacted 1. I've loved you for a while. No, don't do this to me. Don't you even fucking dare. Oh my, oh no. Redacted 1, take it off now. Do you realize what you're doing right now? Redacted 2, I was thinking about why you wouldn't love me back. It's Emily, isn't it? You were so busy looking at Emily that you didn't even notice me, right? Redacted 1, Is that an axe you're holding? You're bleeding from your ankles. Redacted 2, I'm begging you, please take that off. Redacted 2, so all I need to do is get rid of Emily? Wait here for a bit, it won't take long. You have to stay still and I will come back. Redacted 1, please snap out of it, please. Redacted 2, if you wanted to stop me, you should have done that the day we first met. Redacted 2 stunned Redacted 1 with their weapon and went to the lounge. Fortunately, no one else besides Redacted 1 was harmed, including Emily. Redacted 2 was soon removed from the company's database. They were entirely aware of what they were doing. They admitted that the shoes only encouraged them to do what they always desired. A response that team handled the suppression of Redacted 2. Afterward, the Red Shoes ran away, tearing Redacted 2's ankles off their body. It took a total of 23 minutes for them to be suppressed, contained and returned to their containment unit. Redacted 2 died from excessive blood loss. Redacted 1 only sustained minor injuries, but elected to resign due to excessive psychological trauma. Except from a research log. We received the report that employee Redacted was lured by the shoe and was roaming the corridor. We immediately ordered employee F3054 to suppress her. She was a veteran employee with a vast experience in suppressions. So we expected her to suppress a female employee without any trouble, but she didn't return. And when others found her, employee F4002 was unconscious with both her ankles severed, while employee F3054 was manically trying to remove the shoes from the severed feet. Holy shit. Now this is a really cool abnormality. Red shoes. Okay, I see. I did not expect for red shoes to be that in depth. Yeah. Okay, give me a second. Music books. Okay, hold on. Theresia. Oh, I think that's how you pronounce it. I'm not sure. Do correct me if I'm wrong. A music box with an impressive sculpture of a dancing ballerina. When wound up, a sad melody begins to play. No one knows when it was made or who made it. But it doesn't seem to be new juggling from the slight skip in the song. What the fuck does that mean? There are a few phrases accurately carved on the surface. Do you remember this melody? The professor used to play this song when the students were sleepy. Happy birthday. Listening to music box will make anyone feel like everything will be okay in the end, lifting their fatigue. However, excessive listening will make one lose the grip on reality and be driven mad. Okay, I'm just gonna read the log and not the method, because we knew the method, like we know. Okay. The old lady with the fucking gun. I remember an abnormality taking the form of an old and feeble woman. Anytime someone enters its containment unit, it will talk to that person. What it tells differs from time to time. However, it will always commence with "Dearie, would you like to hear a story?" This story could be a lullaby, an unexpected poem, unspecified poem, a nursery rhyme, a common children's story, or something entirely new. It knows every children's story and it will not stop recounting until the listener finally leaves. Except from counseling records. She may be the loneliest of all abnormalities. She's filled with loneliness and tells her tales to fill that void. Well, every story needs a listener. When someone enters her room, she'll try to fill that void. Of course, listening to her is a very dangerous thing. She knows every story on earth and even those that cannot possibly exist. Our minds can't cope with such a thing. She could fry your brain in an instant. Fucking hell, Grandma, go into the fucking wheelchair, goddamn. No, no, no. Oh my lord, okay. This is gonna take so long. Okay, this might have been a bad idea. This is gonna take so long, holy shit. It takes the form of an, okay, nameless fetus. It takes the form of an unborn fetus. Its skin is covered in muco sticky liquid. Small veins can be seen here and there. The abnormalities, abnormally bulged eyes are usually closed. It always seems unsatisfied, but what exactly it needs is undetermined. It has a great obsession with being fed, and if it is not fed regularly, its stress levels rise drastically. When it reaches a certain level of stress, it cries out loudly in a way that mental harm all who may be around it. Fucking hell. Except from interview log #2-49, employee F2706. I've never seen it smile. It always seems to want something, but we can never fulfill its desire. I guess the reason why it cries are destructive is because its unsatisfied needs are so strong. When I was a newbie here, none of my colleagues would tell me what exactly we fed it. I thought it was just some kind of weird milk or something like what other normal babies would eat up. It is a baby after all, underneath all that grossness. But that wasn't the case. It only eats human flesh. Can you believe it? To stop it from crying, you have to hold a drawing every so often. Do you know what that means? What? Okay. Except from a terminated observation log. When I first heard that the Nameless Fetus had to be fed, I thought we'd have to give it food with like a spoon or something. It looked too weak to do anything. And its mouth isn't fully developed either. Later, when I found out that it ate meat, I thought I'd have to be chewed up by someone first. What? I would have to be chewed up by someone first? Bitch, okay, I think that's bad translation, or maybe my reading skills are just so bad. So it would be soft enough to eat. When I asked my working buddy about it, he laughed and said, no way, that's ridiculous. We just need to leave the food in the unit and go. I still thought about how the world that fetus could eat stuff. I wondered if we served it some kind of a succulent steak that's not even available to us in the cafeteria. Out of curiosity, I decided to sneak peek at the feeding process of the Nameless Fetus. Only level 3 and up employees are assigned to that process. But I was able to attend because I made up an excuse that I was covering for someone, as I nervously watched, wondering if my life would be worth it. Some people came along with large plastic bags. Does it eat that much? And when they opened the bags, I could only gape in horror. They were human corpses. And the baby ate it. How? I don't even want to imagine it. It had a large scar on its stomach. It really thought it was some kind of a scar, like a large flower. Its stomach would open, dripping with a slimy liquid. It was the greediest creature in the world. That day onward, I was a vegetarian. Motherfucker got PTSD level 1000 after that one. Holy shit. Except from an employee's diary, I'm poorly. I've worked for Lobotomy Corporation for about a month now. My parents are really proud of me for getting into a wing like this. And all my friends are jealous of me. I still make a lot of mistakes, but someday I'll be as capable as my co-workers. There is a special employee-only event held by our company. No one knows when or why this event is held. Even my co-workers, who've been here for 5 years, doesn't seem to know. When the event starts, a giant roulette spins. Everyone stops what they're doing to stare at the roulette, and you'll see who will be the lucky winner. With desperate looks on their faces, the name of every single employee is written on that roulette. Whoever ends up being selected, they're extremely lucky. They'll be promoted to and transferred to another branch of the company's headquarters. In addition, their family will be gifted with the unimaginable fortune at the headquarters. You don't have to worry about being attacked by abnormalities or need to bid farewell to your dead colleagues. My senior, Redacted, really hopes that they'll get picked eventually. You see, their father got into an accident one day, and it takes a lot of money to keep him alive as well. I really hope the roulette picks Redacted someday. Oh, my sweet summer child, if you just known. When my serious name showed up on the roulette, I congratulated them with all my heart, though they didn't seem too happy for some reason. Others gave them a hug one by one. Everyone was crying for some reason. They said goodbye to me, shedding tears while trying to force a smile. I haven't seen them since. I'm sure they're working under much better conditions with a really nice salary. But when I try to bring them up in conversations, people stop talking as if I've spoken some sort of taboo. I still remember the last thing they said to me before they left. When will you understand the meaning of the desperation on their faces when the roulette spins? That's the quote. The manager holds the specific right to call a special event for all employees in the facility without any cause for occasion. When the event starts, a giant roulette will spin and select one lucky employee's name. That employee will be promoted, transfers to a different branch, and their family will receive a yearly pension. No personnel are allowed to invade the manager's right to hold this event. The following information is forbidden to the public eye. Conditions required to hold the event. Data access restricted, data access restricted. The crying of Nameless Fetus has reached its peak. The roulette will select an employee that satisfies one of the conditions below. Questions the true purpose of the company, conducts our planned unauthorized experiments with the abnormalities, maintains an excessive curiosity about the abnormalities, and conducts or plans unauthorized observations on them. It is incapable of working due to physical or psychological trauma. Unauthorized signifies that it is unauthorized by comparison or Angela. The following actions will be taken with the employee selected by the roulette. Expansions all records from the company has about the employee. Sacrificing the employee to the abnormality, informing the employee's family that they have been transferred to another branch. Holy shit, it does make me wonder how much do they pay these families though, because I already know there would be a lot of people wishing they would be picked if you. I've seen it a few times where people were really desperate for a lot of money all at once. Way too many times. I come from Czech Republic, like I've seen it quite a lot, okay? So it does make me wonder how much do they pay, right? Like if it's crazy amount, cheese to say the least. Oh, we have the crying bitch. No, you got me fucking demonetized like 2 times. I hate you. The lady facing the no, I hate you. You don't have that much. I mean, I say that much, but it's still like a fucking page and a half. Okay, an abnormality in the shape of a woman against the wall. Over time, her unbearable sorrow grew into a mournful obsession covered in countless lengthy hairs. As she is facing the wall, not a single person has seen her face. While she occasionally talks to herself and weeps quietly, it is impossible to have a meaningful conversation with her. Despite her human appearance, it is impossible to discern what she really is looking at or her true intentions. She will attempt to talk to or pique the interest of some of those who are about to leave the containment unit. However, one should never look back in response, as it may cause mental damage. Certain rumor insists that one may turn to stone upon looking back, but this is clearly not true. Except from observation log 1-304. There is only one important rule to follow: ignore her. She always tries to draw our attention. She murmurs incoherently in an attempt to have those in the room pay closer attention to what she's saying. She'll even plead or whisper maliciously when someone is about to leave, in the hopes that they have instinctively looked back. The subconscious is a threat to your own health. In her presence, it is important to have your guard up and to be aware of what is occurring when you are in the room with her. If you forget the warning for even a second and let your guard down, you may find yourself looking back towards here. I have another warning to leave to all who read this. Do not let this insidious abnormality learn your name. If she learns your name, she may use a trick to trick you into turning you around. No matter what you hear or what she may do to tempt you, while you are in the room with her, do not, and I repeat, do not, under any circumstances, look at her curiously. Curiosity is a luxury you must never indulge in when in her containment unit. Oh. Wait, so, huh? So she does like an insta-kill whenever you look behind after leaving? Holy fuck. Except from counseling long, #9-39, employee F5004 redacted, was a colleague of mine whom I cared deeply. Well, I cared for all my co-workers, but redacted was different. The amount of passion they poured into their work was something I have rarely witnessed in my life. Anyways, I have no idea how she, that abnormality, learned redacted's name. Maybe someone called it out to them while they were inside the containment unit, and she heard it. We should have sent 2 in for work with her. The common procedure was to have a team of 2 sent into the containment unit, but as you know, we're always short-handed. Besides, abnormality was low on the threat scale. If we followed the procedure and sent 2 inside, the powers that would be... What the fuck? The powers that would not have been happy about it one bit. What is this line? The powers that would not have been happy about it one bit. Bitch, what is this English? The powers that would not have been happy about it one bit. Okay, no, I'm going fucking schizo. Is it just my English is that bad, or like is this line just fucking stupid? I don't know why this throws me off so much. Okay, no, I think my English is just horrendous. Omitted. Well, you know the rest. The day the incident happened, redacted was sent to the containment unit as usual. But they didn't come out for a long time. I know redacted was a prompt and diligent worker. So I headed straight for the containment unit feeling the worst. Thankfully I found them without even a scratch. But a kid looked out of it, like way out of it, omitted. The next day the kid was resigned. I heard they sent them to an asylum, but no one ever saw redacted again. The kid just kept staring at the wall, murmuring and not responding to anyone. That was the very last time I saw redacted. No one knows what happened inside the containment unit. You won't find out from the kid either. Jeez, so she's that PTSD giving look. Oh, we have nothing there. Okay, this is one that I'm interested in. But like, fuck you giving this much text. Oh, okay, this might take more than 2 hours. We are on the first page still, and there is this many abnormalities. Fuck. Okay, whatever. It's gonna take long, yeah, probably. Okay. Nothing there. An abnormality whose appearance resembles a human, but cannot and should not be human. It periodically devours employees and wears their shell. The skeleton and organs are misplaced during the process, so it takes a bizarre form. The abnormality does not have a tongue. Does have a tongue, however. It has knowledge of speech, and as such cannot talk. What? It has no knowledge of speech and such cannot talk. But it does talk. It can make meaningless sounds. There is no telling what it is inside its shell, but its skin continuously wears down, so there is a need to change and maintain the outer layer. It is insensitive to pain. It may break its own bones or cut itself up to escape through a small crevice. So even if there is a gap, it just will try to escape. Okay, fucking hell. Bit by bit, we discovered that this abnormality may be evolving. It demonstrates behavior similar to a character of a person who used to be its shell. It even makes attempts to equalize itself with a human being. When it escapes, what the fuck? It wears the skin of the person it killed and mimics them. Then without any sign or foreshadowing, it reveals its true second form. In the true second form, it resembles a much similar to that of humanity. What the fuck? Its resemblance is much similar to that humanity in comparison to. Hey, okay, maybe I shouldn't do this at 2 a.m. But like, come on, I don't have time. Okay, give me a second. Okay, I'm back. Then, without any sign or foreshadowing, it reveals its true second form. In its true second form, its resemblance is much similar to that of humanity, in a comparison to its earlier form. What do you mean, humanity? What is this English? I'm so confused. Maybe I'm just stupid. Yeah, I am stupid. What the fuck? The new form is confirmed to possess bipedalism. What the fuck does bipedalism? Why these words so hard for me? What the fuck? Hold on. What does bipedalism? That sounds so stupid. Bipedalism. The act of moving on 2 legs. Couldn't you just say that? Like, oh, okay. Okay. You couldn't just say it started walking on 2 legs. No, bipedalism. Okay, fuck you. Properly aligned organs and the addition of a greater physical strength, all the employees are afraid of this form. A warning of something. If it has been confirmed that it has escaped and stood on 2 feet, there is only one thing you can do. Straighten up your posture, gather your hands neatly, and pray to whatever you may believe in, and observe the situation as it unfolds. What the fuck? Okay, except from counseling log. Just like how we observe abnormalities as employees, nothing there observes us. Then it puts out on the shell of an employee and thinks of itself as an employee that just died. The sight of that thing eating one of us is horrifying beyond words. Just trying to think about it might drive me mad. Heading to its containment to check the state of its shell is a toil on your mind too. Imagine that a colleague of yours who you chatted with just a few days ago is now sitting in that room, snapped neck, guts exposed, walking on all fours, drooling like a beast, omitted. That's not all. When I was still an employee, no one else was willing to enter the containment unit, so I was forced to go work with it. It looked even worse than it does now. It was in the shape of a horribly deformed human. What's worse, it tried to mimic humans, doing stuff like looking in the mirror, mumbling to itself, or trying to fix its skeletal structure. It's as if it was trying to mimic us. Who knows? It might get good enough to casually walk among us someday. Well, you fucking predicted that. Warning, only employees level of 3 or higher are permitted to read this document. This recording is a call from the containment unit's emergency phone. The phone systems are installed in every room. Abnormalities of risk level HE or higher to enable quick threat response. Holy. Okay. Employee 1. Please pick up, please pick up. This is a containment unit of nothing there. The emergency response department ERD. Hello, this is the emergency response team. What's the problem? Employee 1. I need a stun gun right now. There is an emergency happening right now. Can you please specify the reason? The abnormality. The sign of something breaking can be heard. It's ripping up the employee. Excuse me? It's killing my colleague. Well, respond immediately. Please identify the employee being attacked. It's, wait a sec. Their names redacted. Control team. I'm redacted. Also control team. Confirmed. What's currently happening to your colleague at this moment? Yeah, just please hurry. We need the weapon to control the abnormality. A loud noise can be heard, presumably the scream of the colleague. Oh god, this is... What's happening? The abnormality is attacking my colleague. It's literally ripping them apart. I can't do anything. I repeat, we need a weapon to control the abnormality. The emergency response team has been dispatched. They'll arrive shortly. Omitted. Redacted? What's happening now? Is it still attacking your colleagues? Yeah, oh no, I think it's done now. Has it stopped attacking? No, I mean my colleagues. He's dead. Yeah, he's dead, alright? How can you be so sure? Well, it's because has he been ripped out somehow? But body parts are damaged. All of them. Jeez. Except from counseling log, just like how we observe abnormalities as employees, nothing that observes us. Then it puts on a shell as an employee and thinks itself as an employee that just died. We know all of these. Okay, we can only guess how carefully and for how long it has been observing that employees imitate them. But I'm trying to say, we can't just treat like some dumb scary monster. Even now, it could be strolling about wearing the shell of someone we know. This abnormality is becoming more and more like human. Its transformation is getting faster too. I get goosebumps just thinking about it. If the time comes when we fail to recognize it, and it will be the day that company falls, we must stay ever so vigilant when dealing with this abnormality. The following records of the abnormality behavior an employee exhibited their last moments after they became shell of nothing there. Fucking hell. Employee 1, manager, employee 2. Man, you've been looking for the manager for quite a while. You've been acting weirdly today, you know? With that smile and all. Employee 1. Employee 2. Anyhow, I should hope we get pasta in the cafeteria for dinner today. I'd love some of that with a thick bacon. Employee 1. Employee 2. Oh, we just got an emergency notice. It says the last employee to work with nothing there should get the counselor's office immediately. Employee 1. Employee 2. Wait. Wasn't that you? Employee 1. Employee 2. Hey, some things. Employee 1. Manager! What the fuck? The second employee proceeded to take immediate action upon hearing that. However, nothing there tore out of their shell of the first employee, revealing its beginning form. The recording only includes audio files. So what exactly happened or what kind of behavior the employee exhibited still remains a mystery. The shell with nothing there inside tries its best to mimic the behavior of the employee it tried to kill moments ago. The actions of the employee it eyed, their final words, those sort of things. And the many shells cried out one word, manager. Fucking hell. Okay, nothing there is really strong. It's basically a complete force, right? You can't argue with it, you can't really fight against it. Fucking hell. Okay, we have the fucking radio signal. This abnormality is a phenomenon with no visible form. It has been discovered when an employee began exhibiting shared symptoms when entering a specific area of the facility. They all suffered hallucinations of a specific nature, and their mental corruption increased. After seeing a radio frequency to 176 megahertz, MHz, I don't know what that means. We waited. Following 12 minutes, a mysterious voice was heard through static. It was difficult to make out what it was saying, but it appeared to be a distress and asking for help. 17 minutes in, the voices stopped and 3 loud explosions were heard, which were then followed by 2 smaller explosions. It can be assumed that the voice was in a chaotic chaos. What the fuck? The voice was in a chaotic... What is this English? It can be assured that the situation the voice was in was chaotic. I can't read. Yeah, my bad. I can't read. I always... Chaotic something, right? As based on the various levels of screaming that could be heard. 23 minutes in, all was silent. Once 25 minutes passed, the radio began to emit smoke. We thought the machine had fried, but no fault could be found. Continuing past 30 minutes, everyone in the area was suddenly filled with rage and started exhibiting the desire to assault one another with extreme aggression. The following incident, all employees who took part refused to seek counseling. We couldn't make it mandatory as no one was injured. It is still unknown what caused the colleagues' rage. Afterwards, unknown noises or hallucinations started to occur near the containment unit. This is a recording of the day we must never forget. It brings us to a chaotic place, forgotten by many, that must never be forgotten. Jeez, okay. So this all basically distorts you to be just more aggressive. But it's not that dangerous. Like nothing there is like just pure fucking danger, right? You just can't go against it. This is the most disgusting one, the Nameless Fetus, yeah. The shoes are cool as fuck, but like, cheese. Holy. Okay, we have the meat grinder. Holy shit. Singing machine. It takes the form of a long cuboid machine. At the first glance, all it seems to be is a simple industrial grinder. However, the existence of it having an individual will meets the criteria to be classed as an abnormality. When approached or touched, the employee will become delirious and throw themselves into the abnormality's mechanical body. Afterward, the machine ventilation fan will quickly shut off, and the sound of the abnormality excuse me, operating system can be heard from within. The process takes about 5 minutes. After a few experiments, we concluded that the abnormality desires to gain music from this interaction. There is no detailed research into this abnormality's music. However, there is a hypothesis that it has a special characteristics that attracts humans in correlation to their specific behaviors or psychological controlling records. If one of our employees has determined to be addicted to the music, they will need to be treated quickly to prevent any collateral damage. Except from counseling log, I just wanted to write the observation report and get out, but he was acting odd. I warned him not to get too close, but Redacted took one step closer. He said he'll let me hear a fantasy. Then he opened up the lid and jumped into the machine. The lid closed and a loud noise came from the inside of the creature. There was no way to know what was happening, but I was too terrified to do anything. Omitted. In the dark, I realized that thing was playing an instrument, crushing and cutting Redacted's body. It was creating a rhythm. As I was contemplating my horrific realization, the lid opened again. Bits and pieces of Redacted were in there, so little that you had to wonder what happened to the rest. Omitted. Noticed must read symptoms of addiction to the music of singing machine. Attempts to bring other employees to the containment unit of singing machine by physical force. Dilate pupils. Greatly reduce concentration and cognitive abilities. Refusal to listen to other forms of music. Please list any additional symptoms that are found and immediately report them to any employees that are suspected of the noted symptoms. Except from an incident logs. Date. Redacted. Oh, so we are not too far in the future. We are under 10,000 years at the very least. Okay, that's good to know. I mean, is it? You get the idea. Employee M1840 went missing in the company 2 days later. On the Redacted, part of a corpse was found inside the singing machine. Genomic analysis revealed that the corpse belonged to this missing employee. The employee was a new hire who had only worked for the company for 3 months, and they had no records of assignment to the work with the abnormality. The culprit was found to be employee Redacted, who was in charge of the singing machine. Redacted confessed after excessive interrogations, torture. Basically, I know it's crazy, but I heard that music again. It stuck in my head for months. I performed all kinds of experiments. When the machine takes in a cat, it plays for 1 minute, a large dog, 2 minutes and 30 seconds. But nothing could compare to the music when it eats a human. It may sound ridiculous, but I feel satisfied having heard it once more. Fucking hell. Okay, 2.5 minutes with a dog, big dog. I mean, I know, but like, come on, man. Wait, so human goes for how much? Like 5 minutes, right? I'm guessing, like at the very least. I doubt it's, you know, shorter than that. The Silent Orchestra, an abnormality that loves art and tries to get the entire company to listen to its music. Except from an encyclopedia, the conductor not only corrects musical errors, but it is also responsible for creating the best ensemble and taking command of the music. Conductor's skills can be determined within 5 minutes at the podium. The moment the conductor opens the score, the performance reads the conductor's eyes, actions and aura. Fucking aura, I hate that word. To see if the person is worthy to lead them, without the understanding and harmony between them. The macroscopic significance contained in the score cannot be expressed. Therefore, an outstanding degree of influence, leadership, and eloquence. I don't fucking know. Eloquence. If you can, you tell me. are essential qualities for a conductor to have omitted. First moment, calm and solemn, the conductor begins to direct the apocalypse. Bro, apocalypse? Wait, so the Silent Orchestra this entire time was conducting a fucking apocalypse? Okay. Movement 2 through 4, cheerful and fast. Employees start to forget everything and show fervent adoration towards the symphony. The emotion soon turns into internal insanity, driving them to attack anyone near them. The orchestra gives impetus to the music, bringing the entire department to its demise. When all performers have gathered, the music that no one can hear, but everyone can listen to begins. Finale. The music shall perform your entire being. Perforate. Holy fuck. So the Silent Orchestra basically is like the apocalypse bird. It conducts music at the scale of an apocalypse. Holy mother of fuck, now this is an abnormality. Okay. I have one question for all of you. We are quite far in the video, so I think like the high majority of people would have left now. But if you're still here, if you had to work with one abnormality and it can't be the skull, because fuck you, which one would you choose out of all of them? It can even be an item abnormality for all I care. But which one would you choose? Personally, I'm gonna choose at the end. So if you wanna hear that bullshit, stick around. Or, you know, you're probably gonna skip there, but I'm not gonna tell you when I'm gonna say it. I'm gonna say it like halfway through it, you're not gonna know. Okay. Oh, this one is not that long. I mean, it's fucking long, but it's not that long at least. Are you long? Fuck. Okay, never mind. Holy shit, you're long. You're fine. Oh no, the British are long. Yeah, they are. Okay, good. Let's go here. Warm-hearted Woodsman. A mechanical abnormality whose humanoid body is composed entirely of galvanized steel. It holds a giant axe with both hands, but does not show any activity, as if it's unable to move. The friends were imperfect in one way or another, so they helped each other to fill what they were lacking and embarked on a journey to make their wishes come true. The Scarecrow wanted a brain, and the Tin Woodsman wanted a heart. The Cowardly Lion wanted courage. Dorothy wanted to return home. The one they thought to be the greatest wizard instead gave the Woodsman a lead heart. Quote, "But you're a machine. That means you were built to serve humans. Don't you understand? Machines don't need a heart. Good job making it all the way here, though. Take this as compensation. Be sure to tell everyone waiting for you that your wish definitely came true." Whoa, that's just evil. What the... Wait. Now, I have a... Wait, was this abnormality created by... or it's extracted from Angela? It sounds very much something Angela would talk about, right? Or suggest. Hey, hold on. Huh? If I'm right, that's crazy. Some left with satisfaction, the friends departed and were never to be seen again. The hard cold light was depressing. The Tin Woodsman couldn't agree with this. In anger, he swung his axe through the wizard's heart. The warm heart was pulsing vigorously. He shoved the lead into the heart, into the wizard's now empty chest. For the first time in his life, the Woodsman started laughing at the sight and felt a pleasure he'd never had before. Grabbing a chunk of mushy heart, he shoved it into his... There will never be enough hearts. Once a woodsman, he now fells people instead of trees. This is a forest full of hearts. No matter how many he cuts down, the forest still remains dense. A kind person would carry a warmer heart. When the heart is lost, the woman will fall to his knees in sorrow, clutching his empty chest as if begging for the only thing he has left not to be taken. This really did seem like it was extracted from Angela, I'm not gonna lie. I don't know why, like some of my instinct just went Angela instantly when I read that. The Snow Queen. A queen lived alone in the frosty winter forest. Like how every story starts, Kai was a child with a kind heart. When the shard of a mirror, made by an evil fairy, were scattered on everyone's heart, Kai began to see things he didn't want to see or need to see. He left the small village he grew up in. In an unforgivable blizzard, Kai met the Snow Queen. He became curious of the world beyond his knowledge, he felt as though everything he knew amounted to so little. The Snow Palace he reached was so cold by the Snow Queen's kiss froze his heart, and he couldn't feel the cold anymore. There was no joy in the palace, only the long winter night. Gerda was strong enough to remain unpierced by the mirror, and brave enough to go on journey to rescue Kai. So she set off towards the Snow Palace. The journey was agonizing. Gerda was hurt and pained. Sometimes she cried. However, eventually Gerda met Kai. Spring arrived with blossoming roses. Its warmth melted the Snow Queen's place, and the piece of mirror in Kai's heart evaporated without a trace. Then, left all alone, the Snow Queen omitted. I remember the day we put her in the cryo coffin with our own hands. At some point, her joyous laughter was gone. She just sighed through laughing and crying, and eventually she was found in a bathtub soaked in red, with her wrist cut. Wait, so the suicide bathtub was... Wait, the suicide bathtub is tied to this story too? Everything is intertwined? What? Huh? We did not believe in death. I will have her reconstructed from the machines I have detested for my entire life, but have become the only answer. She would have been disgusted by me for this, dying in that bathtub. However, we were too far down the road, filled with remorse and regret to feel any sort of guilt. One day it spoke to me. I remember you. You were a kind-hearted person. The moment I heard it, I was seized by an urge to destroy what I had created with my own hand. Holy shit. Okay, so 15 abnormalities took 1 hour, and we have... Oh no, we have like... Oh, this will take like 6 hours. These are shorter. These are shorter actually. They look shorter. At least some of them. Yeah, some of them look short. Okay, no, I think I can do... Why are you so long? You're a fucking bee. Brother, why are you so long? You're a fucking soda can, motherfucker. What? Okay. Should I do this on episodes? Or just slap it into one mess? I think I should slap it into one massive one. Even though we are already at the 1 hour mark. My throat is starting to hurt, so my voice might get a little fucked up in the future, okay? So, if I sound really bad towards the end, just turn on the subtitles, I guess. A large, many-eyed bird. Okay, big bird, by the way. Yeah, by the way, as if you couldn't see. A large, many-eyed bird that patrols the dark forest with an everlasting lamp. Unlike regular birds, it lacks wings and has long arms instead, which it can pick up things. Omitted already. Holy shit. Would stare intently at anyone it found, young or old, and bite their head off. There is a tale of a beast that lies in the deepest, darkest part of the forest, who dazzles creatures away, never to be seen again. To protect all the creatures from the beast, the big bird burned all the feathers to make a wick, then made a lamp that would burn forever. With this eternally lit lamp, the big bird wandered the forest, warning the creatures not to stray too deep into the trees. Thanks to the large bird, fewer creatures fell victim to the beast in the forest. However, it was still concerned for the creatures still being killed by the beast. An idea struck the big bird's mind. If I killed the creatures first, no one would be killed by the beast. Since then, only rumors of a beast that would bite your head off flew around in the forest, in the dark forest. It is said that the beast carefully examines and stares at its victim to see if they are the beast that lures helpless creatures away. This is a tale from a town in the location redacted area. We heard the tale from the town's oldest inhabitant, redacted. Although there is a general assumption that the tale was told to prevent children from entering the forest, it is uncertain who first inherited the tale. We can't do anything while the abnormality has its eyes open. It stares intently, as if keep staring omitted. This is why we need to put it to sleep first. We can only begin working when all the numerous dozens of eyes have entered slumber. And it turns out that the tale was not made up. Quote, we could find this large bird in the forest. Right after that, we tried to look for the beast that dazzles people. We searched through every nook and cranny of the forest, investigated every single creature in detail. A month later, we came to this conclusion. There was no such a beast in the forest, except for that big bird. This abnormality is completely ignorant of the common perception of death. The abnormalities that reside in this corporation can be placed into two different categories. The first category is those who understand perfectly well what the concept and meaning of death is, and will attack our staff with the intent to kill. The second has those who are aware of the concept of death, but attack without malicious intent. This abnormality I have contained here fits neither of these two categories. To this bird, death itself is salvation. Oh, if you just ripped off the head of a poor little girl who got lost in the forest to it, there was no mistake, malice or murder. It thinks it just saved the girl from the beast. Oh, so it's just stupid. I mean, basically. Okay, bro, what the fuck? A big bird dummy. All-around helper, a white cleaning robot with a distinct red eyes that look like a pair of buttons. It always keeps its surroundings neat and tidy. It was originally a mass-produced helper robot intended for domestic use. The writing on its back says an innovative invention that can clean, cook and even serve as a light security using various tools attached to its limbs. Built to perform efficiently and quickly, manufactured by XX Inc. It recognizes a bad mood as a sign that the surroundings are dirty and promptly enters a cleaning mode. It will alert its status by stating lines such as contamination detected, commencing cleaning. However, the limbs are equipped with sharp instruments instead of cleaning supplies. Rumors has it that they were supposed to be used for cutting meat, but they were made to respond to clean command by accident. There is no way to confirm whether this is true. It has determined that the screaming humans after it cleaned is a sign of a good job, well done, and a prompt to continue its cleaning. An audio record found within the robot. Question mark, question mark, question mark. Oh, it's the new helper robot. Let me see, I wanna see. You wanna touch it? Redacted. Then try turning it on and play with it. Phone rings. I'll be right back. I'm gonna get the phone, okay? Sound of button pressed. Helper robot. Hello, I'm your friendly little helper robot. How may I serve you? Cleaning, I want to help mommy cleaning. Oh no. Helper robot. Environment contamination 70%. Filth level mild. Commencing cleaning mode. Wow, it's cleaning. It's clear. After a few seconds of shrieking, the power abruptly went out. Jeez, holy. Okay, I think I'm gonna do it into... that's gonna take so long though. Okay. I think I'm gonna do it into multiple episodes, to be honest. Because this is much more text than I expected. Much more. Or like, wait, 1, 2, 3.5 more. So I would need to do at least 3 today. To basically slam it into, into 2 episodes. So we can get all the straight back into Library of Ruina. Or I can do 1 day reading this and 1 day doing Library of Ruina. I think I'm gonna do it that way so that I don't go fucking crazy reading this many abnormalities. So, okay, I'm gonna end it here for now. I am gonna continue on reading through them all. I'm gonna go crazy. Okay, never mind. I'm gonna try and read through all of them at once, but like, it's 3 AM now. Fuck me. Snow White's apple. When the prince kissed the princess, she coaxed up the bits of an apple stuck in her throat. The dwarf cried out in happiness. Snow White and the prince walked through the flower-covered path and headed to their kingdom. Everyone lived happily ever after. Then there was the apple created from the witch's wrath and curse. It was also a part of herself. The apple that dropped from Snow White's hand after a single bite could never be happy. The apple, full of loneliness and hatred towards the princess, waited for the day it would rot away and return to the earth. Was it the attachment, or was it the wrath which was bending the laws of nature even after enough time has passed for it to rot and allow its seed to bear fruit? The apple did not rot. In the meantime, one half of it was kicked and crushed by someone's foot. The other half was filled with holes eaten away by the likes of birds and bugs. The carcasses of birds and bugs piled up near the apple. The apple pondered about its existence in the midst of the corpses, rotting around it. One day a branch grew from it. The leaves and branches were already withered and dry, but it continued to grow. Finally, one afternoon the apple gained the ability to move on its own. It thought of the princess and the prince, who left happily. Snow White had also been sleeping for a long time, but the prince came and woke her up. The apple, now a princess in its own right, no longer needed a prince. She began to embark on a journey. Except from the hidden stories in the fairy tale no one knew, author unknown. Holy, what the fuck? Okay, never mind. I'm gonna end it here. Actually, okay, maybe if I wake up tomorrow at the right hour, I might ask Dee to slap me into this world again to record at least like 2 more pages. Like this page to the end and this page to the end. Then we're gonna need to go and do another abnormality and complete the rest of the pages, okay? But like hour and a half, my throat hurts like hell. Okay, I'm gonna end it here for now. There might be a continuation, I don't know. So thank you all. In the case where I will not be able to record more, thank you all so much for watching, and thank you all so much for subscribing. We are actually moving much faster than ever before. We are already at 1,040 subscribers. Truly, thank you so much. Thank you so much for watching, liking, supporting, and commenting. All of these things helps immensely to this channel. Thank you so much. I wanna thank the members again. Thank you so much for showing the extra support to my channel. Truly, thank you. It helps, you don't even know how much. Truly, thank you. There will be a Doro in the video, a normal one only. If you wanna look for the golden one, so far it has not been claimed yet, but it is very tiny and very hard to spot. You can go back to the previous video on the Library of Ruina, the first one, and you can look for it. A golden Doro is worth 5 Doros. At the end of every month, we give half of, well, for now it's half of all of the income from the YouTube, the ad revenue, to put it simply. So if you want, you know, win a little bit of cash to the side, hey, look for them. They are in the videos. Thank you so much for watching. Truly, thank you. I'm gonna go to sleep now. So good night and see you tomorrow. Okay, I'm back. Maybe I can do one more episode that I can tie to it. Now it's 1 PM in the Lobotomy Corp. I mean, I'm flying in the sky, for fuck's sake, reading these abnormalities. So let me complete at least 1 more page, because after that I'm gonna have 1, 2, 3, 3.5 pages still. That is so long. Okay, it's gonna take like 3 episodes, okay? So if you don't care about these, probably skip those days, because like, okay, I'm gonna try and do like 2 pages per day, so 1, 2, 1, 2. Okay, yeah, so it's gonna take 3 days to complete all of these. Let me start reading. Spider-Bug. I'm also, one more thing. After all of these are recorded, I'm gonna make one big episode with the timestamps, so that you don't need to go through the entire video. You can just skip to the parts that you might, you know, wonder about, okay? Welcome back, everyone. I know we are back. Okay. I mean, this recording will probably be tied to the first episode still. So, hey, you get the idea. Okay, Spider-Bug, an abnormality that takes the form of a giant spider guarding its domain in darkness. It's difficult to see the abnormality with bare eyes. Small spiderlings skitter around the floor, Our proud employee Peter entered the Abnormalities containment unit one day. When he shone the flashlight on the floor, small little spiders skittered away from the light. When Peter squashed one of the spiderlings by accident, a giant spider descended from the ceiling. Peter was dragged to the ceiling in only a moment. The cocooned employee hanging off the ceiling of the containment unit will be a healthy meal for the spider's offspring. Unsurprisingly, not a single employee volunteered to retrieve the corpse of their cocooned colleague. Holy! Wait, so how big is the spider bud, right? Like, is it massive? I don't think it's gonna be like that massive, because they have the Quillif meltdown reduces, right, on these abnormalities, so they are not as strong as the original form. At least I think so. Except from an animal encyclopedia, a fact often overlooked by many is that the victims trapped in a spider cocoon are actually not dead. The prey is in fact slowly dying within. Their death is postponed so they can be kept fresh for later consumption. A spider's poison contains a toxin that permanently damages the heart, eventually leading to the death. Insects trapped in the pitch-black cocoons have no choice but to wait for the spiderlings to feed on them, feeling their heart beat slower and slower, omitted. Except from the head of the welfare department's letter. We do appreciate your suggestion, however, our own research indicates that your concerns are unlikely to be true. Furthermore, it is proven that the presence of a cocoon in the containment unit increases the energy output. For these reasons, we will not implement a rescue procedure for employees who are caught by a spider bud, as it is against our interests. However, we will allocate more resources into researching this specimen in the future per your opinion. Please be advised that distributing the atmosphere of our workspace by spreading unconfirmed rumors is against the code of conduct. And may even be subject to penalties including dismissal. Lobotomy Corp always values the welfare and voices of its employees. Head of the Welfare Department, Lobotomy Corporation. Holy. That's an eerie rumor spreading among employees. It's not out of the ordinary for rumor or truth to be spreading in the company like this. But it is interesting that the number of alleged witnesses seems to multiply. The rumor says the following. Quote, whispers can be heard in the containment unit at night, unquote. Again, quote, it was the voice of Alex who went missing a few days ago, unquote. Quote, they say the voice wept in terror, asking to be saved from the darkness, unquote. Holy, okay, this one is interesting. And they are afraid of a light, okay. Beauty and the Beast. A self-loathing abnormality that spends every day letting out miserable screams. It wishes to break the cycle of the curse, but there is no way to do so. Beauty was once a fair lady with charming green eyes. One day this poor lady learned of a job opening at a manor of the Count, with the promise of hefty payment. The Count had a monstrous appearance. Rumor says anyone who dares to enter his manor is never seen again. Quote, it must be that hideous monster preying on people. With that thought in her mind, she brought in a very sharp knife with her. The lady was hired and worked at the manor. Contrary to the rumor, the monster was nowhere to be seen. Sometimes at night she could hear a voice. It was very kind and compensated her for her troubles handsomely. Working in the manor, the lady bore a greedy thought. Quote, if the Count was gone, I could take all his possessions for myself, unquote. One day she went inside the courtroom, Count's room. The room that she was instructed to never enter during the day. There she saw the Count's true form. He was truly horrendous. Hundreds of eyes, 4 legs. He was neither human nor animal. The lady thought, quote, perhaps such a hideous monster would be better off if it didn't exist. Holy mother of fuck. Did you hear that shit? Holy shit, who the fuck are they shooting down there? Motherfucker, that was like a shotgun blast. What the fuck? I don't know if the mic picked that up, but that was so loud. Holy shit, it made me jump. Oh well. Well, where did I end off? Holy shit. She proceeded to stab the beast with her knife. Surprisingly, the beast laughed in its last moment. Before the lady could even ask why it was laughing, she began to change. Hundreds of eyes formed, and a thick coat of fur grew on her as soon as she turned into the beast. Now the manor and all its riches belong to her. Rumor says anyone who dares to enter the Count's manor is never seen again. Okay, that's cool, that's cool, that's cool. Plague Doctor and White Knight now. Okay, this will be interesting. Plague Doctor wears a black fedora and a beaked mask, has a huge black wings instead of arms or legs. It is capable of human communication, though it prefers to talk a little. It came to this facility by itself, claiming that the world has contracted a dreadful disease only it is able to cure. We could not find anything about this disease it refers to. It seems to like treating employees when they are injured or sick. It shows satisfaction when helping others. And it seems quite sympathetic and benevolent. Even after a week of observation, we found no aggression, violence, or attempt to escape. Only contributions to the assumption that this abnormality is admittedly gentle. 12 of our employees use this word to describe this creature, and good for us. Employee Alex, who had a serious scar on his forehead from subduing an abnormality, walked into this abnormality's chamber with his scar's recovery incomplete. The abnormality, which normally isn't loquacious, started talking as soon as... What the fuck is going on outside? Holy shit. The abnormality, which normally isn't loquacious, started talking as soon as it saw the employee's scar. Observation record -1. The abnormality asked, "Why have you not treated that scar?" Alex replied, "I had no time, so I just gave it a little bit of first aid." The plague doctor answered, "I shall heal you, curing you of all disease and injury you possess." Alex came out of the chamber with his scar completely healed. Okay, and now White Knight. Holy shit. It takes the form of a newborn fetus. Though the appearance is so grotesquely grotesque, it's hard to even call it a fetus. While communication is possible, it doesn't occur in a normal way. Every word he utters echoes throughout the entire containment unit. "My disciples, whom I blessed, ye shall leave the way of evil that once ye were following and find me. When the time comes, I shall forgive your sins and descend to the earth ye are living on." The 12 employees who are blessed by him will transform and road the facility to deliver redemption. To every single employee, wings will grow from their backs and they will wear a mask in the shape of beaks and bear crosses that forgive all sins. Quote, "Follow my teachings as I told thee, thou wilt abandon flesh and be born again." Unquote. His disciples will be born again as ones who shall reach out, those far away from the light, ones who shall embrace their neighbors, missionaries who shall spread the gospel to all their fellows. They are. The time has come, soon the bell shall ring, a new world will come. Rise, my servants, rise and serve me. I am death and life, darkness and light. Okay, that's cool, that's cool. I think there is gonna be one motherfucker that will say like, "Let me work with White Knight, but let me be the 12th. So that I'm, you know..." That would be quite the cheese, I think. So far, which abnormality would I pick? I have no idea so far. Because they are all extremely dangerous. Like, all of them. Like, she's schizo. But like, to be completely honest, I would probably pick her. But she's so schizo, I don't know. Okay, let me continue. We were over here now. Ruddolf of the Sleigh. An old card attached to the abnormality. "Merry Christmas, Santa rushes along the night sky to deliver presents to happy kids who don't cry. Ruddolf, the red-nosed reindeer, shines his nose so bright through the fog, while tagging along a sleigh full of presents, guiding it along tonight. Every happy kid around the world deserves a present." From afar, the abnormality resembles Santa Claus atop his sleigh. Upon closer inspections, it is completely different from its description in common folklore. Contrary to the titular character Ruddolf, the sleigh drags the reindeer along. We've observed the 3 different portions of the abnormality separately. Ruddolf, an organic entity in a color of green, red, and white that appears to be a horse or a deer. Its muscles do not seem to move, but many of our staff employees report movement in the eyes. Some even say that they've made eye contact with it. There is a 30 centimeter diameter hole in its abdomen. Armed employees later reported that the hole was empty. Huh? Okay. Fucking weird. Santa. A mysterious transparent organic entity on top of Ruddolf. It is full of what seems to be human organs, all of which function normally. The Sleigh. The size is similar to that of a child's. What? The plating looks like organic skin, and there are white runners attached to the bottom. The accessories of the Sleigh are replaced with stiff, severed hands. Unknown objects are carefully wrapped in gifts. Many employees try to open these gifts, but failed. But Ruddolf has it that they can be opened on Christmas Day. These three elements are crudely sewn together. Dr. Redacted suggested that all three parts may be made from a single body. However, made this thing must have had a great hatred for Christmas. Well, or that they've never seen Santa Claus. Okay. But it doesn't say what this thing exactly does. Wait, so it does... I mean, I know it attacks, but it does white damage, right? Which is sanity. Interesting. Queen Bee. Oh, this one is long. Okay. Its form appears to be amalgamation of gargantuan, beehive, and a bee. A cross-section of the inside shows a darkish red surface with particles here and there, much like that of a raw meat. The segment that appears to be the face is heavily distorted. It has wings, but they lost their intent function of flight. The one eye that remains relatively intact. The one eye that remains relatively intact shows pupillary movement, as if to watch for approaching intruders. The abnormality always remains still. It is assured that it does not move. When certain conditions are met, it releases spores. It will generate billions of spores within a 20-meter radius. The existence of life forms in its vicinity seems to be one of the key requirements. When it did, there was no immediate change in the employees who inhaled the spores, and no anomalous sign could be detected on the explanations that followed. One more time had passed, the employee experienced severe pain in their occipital lobe and abdomen. Then, after a certain period of time, their head dislodged from their body, and a worker bee emerged from the separated body. Holy shit, you're brutal. I bet nobody will want to work with you. What the fuck? It has been confirmed that the spores carry drone eggs that hatch inside a living host. Based on the findings of an autopsy done by an employee killed by the abnormality, we believe that the larva will subsist on any portion of the body, be it blood, organs, or fat. It will move freely around the body at this stage. When it becomes too large to move, it creates cocoon near the intestines. The host feels extreme hunger at this stage, eating much more than usual. This cocoon moves upward through the body as it grows, eventually damaging the arteries of the throat and cricoid. I am not reading that. Cricoid. I butchered. I definitely did. With its jaw as it severs the host's head from the body. After this will emerge from the body, exacerbating the wound of the host further, except from counseling log, redacted. Had been telling me about his icky neck for a while. He complained about the digestion too. One time I saw him take a bunch of digestives. Who would have thought that I'd turn out to be such a serious issue? I never thought I'd be the one to witness that horrible moment. Omitted. Redacted. And I were just chatting, but suddenly he stopped speaking. He was still scratching his neck. It was turning so red I was getting worried. Then his neck started to turn at such a strange angle. Right then and there, I realized the severity of the situation. There was no way he could have been putting his neck that way on his own. It looked like someone was forcibly twisting his neck. And then I heard a zip. like a nose of a shredding paper, a foreign sound of something tearing. His head fell to the floor. I heard a dull thud. And then, as if enough hadn't happened already, something began to crawl out of his neck, just like a butterfly emerging from a cocoon, tearing apart his headless body, the wings, the yellow trunk, the teeth that gnawed away his body. It's something I would never want to see again. A being I'd had to describe as something alive. Holy, omitted again. It seems to be aware of me somehow, but it looked like it didn't have any reason to attack at that moment. It picked up a cranium and fly away, like a drone carrying honey. I can still hear the sound of its jaw rattling and its wings beetling. Worker B, its appearance is clearly different from Queen B's. Other than the color, it is capable of flight but can only hover about 1 meter above ground. It lacks antennas or eyes. A long appendage that appears to be intestines drags behind its rear on the floor. Worker bees show only 2 forms of behavior: delivering nutrients to the queen bee and proliferating. Upon encountering an employee, it uses its jaw to crush their head and then proceeds to inject puma into their body. Holy fuck. Okay, queen bee is a nightmare to work with. Holy shit. Bloodbath. The suicide tub. I will call it that. Come on, man. Okay. An abnormality which contains the pain of all those who couldn't take their sorrows in stride. A bath of gloomy color, toppled with blood. The blood is always kept equilibrium. It never overflows, only despair can be found in its sunken depths. Unbearable depression overwhelms all those who look into the bathtub. In an instant, it can be pulled a nearby person into it. It bears a considerable strength, but those who suffer from its crushing depression do not resist. It devours the victim until nothing remains except for their wrists. All the hands which float in the bath are pale. Exhausted. I don't know how to read this. They stretch into the air and reach out as if asking for help. It is not easy feat to cut one's wrist with the same mind. A strong will is needed, with the resolve to make multiple attempts. Only when it is sliced, as if one were simply cutting a mere slab of meat, can they achieve this. Only when one yearns for death that much can they succeed. I eternally regret not realizing to ask her why she needed that industrial knife. I eternally regret not realizing that she was hiding her wrist with long sleeves. I eternally regret not realizing that she always took extra care to hide them whenever I spoke with her. I eternally regret not realizing that I never heard her cheerful laughter anymore, and that she roamed around the company with lifeless eyes more and more often. Yeah, this is a suicide bathtub. I was right. I can't even imagine how painful it would be to cut your wrist. I found out that the only reason she could manage to do something like that was she cut her straight through. We always popped open a bottle of wine every time we succeeded. It became one of our customs. She told us that it only takes one slight misstep to fall into indifferent habit. If we get too used to success, thus we should always smile, rejoice, and celebrate every little thing in the waking success. And we should never neglect failure, as success can be born from a pile of failures. When I saw the latest work of her scars on her wrist, I was reminded of our wine cabinet. We had used up so many of the bottles, there was only one left. That day, I popped one last. Holy, this is a really dark one. Okay, just the death. That's interesting. Like, why you so long when you're just ocean soda? Open Can of WellCheers. What the fuck? That's a weird ass name. Employee record, source unknown. Unknown? Hey, have you guys ever been to one of those Lobotomy meetups? Mind you, it took a lot of courage for me to bring this up again. You see, there is a bunch of clubs in this company where employees gather up. I once attended some kind of ping pong group event thing, but there weren't any girls. There, so I pulled out real quick, lol. Oh my lord, that's me in... Oh my lord. Like, no hot females on the horizon, I leave. Actually, wait, why does this actually sound like me? What the fuck? Okay. Lol, okay, nah. Okay, hell no. I don't know how to talk to a woman. What the fuck? Okay. Look, it did sound like me, I'm not gonna lie. I mean, if it's a 2D, I can learn how to talk really quickly. You can call me fucking Mahoraga by how fast I would fucking adapt. Okay, let me continue. So, like, one day I saw this announcement for some weird get-together on the Corp message board. I got interested, so I called up the group leader, and he introduced himself as redacted from safety. I asked if there were any girls in the group, and he told me there were a ton of female employees. Now that got me super interested, so I signed up right away. Oh, don't you even dare say it in the comment section. For the upcoming meetup. So I showed up, got a name tag, like everyone else. I don't remember everything. But I think I saw like 3 people from training and 2 from information team. About maybe half an hour later, the leader brought in dozens of cans of WellCheers on a tray and gave one to each of us. I should have realized something was wrong, cause the can was already opened. But I'm a sucker for soda. And I just gulped the damn thing down my throat the moment he passed me a can, LMAO. What? Now after that the leader told us, it's time to move. And he said he got a van rented for us. We all thought he was an awesome guy for that. I hopped in the van with 2 employees from the Horde and 1 guy from the same department as me. Leader said it was gonna take about an hour of drive so we could just snap if we wanted. So we did. Weird thing was though, I went to sleep real fast. Like the moment I shut my eyes, I was out like a light. I have insomnia, but for whatever reason I fell asleep so fast then. That was my big mistake. Anyways, I was sound asleep, but then I heard seagulls and I was like, what the fuck? Seagulls? Yeah, at first I thought it was someone's phone alarm, but then I heard waves crashing. I was like, man, this is way too real to be a phone alarm. So I opened my eyes to find myself lying on a deck. I was on a goddamn boat, launched my ass off. An actually real life boat. I knew I was screwed the moment I saw shrimp hopping around, sent chills down my spine. I wanted to believe it was all a dream, but I swear that shrimp's realistic flopping was sobering sight. The realization crushed me like a hammer, and I was surrounded by people who looked like they were the crew. They were all beefed up. It felt like they'd put me back to sleep with force if I said something wrong. One slip and I'd be swimming with the sharks. The crew was something around 10 people, including the captain, boatswain, cook, and all that. They all chuckled at me while I was spacing out. The guy who looked like the captain walked towards me and asked me about my height and weight. I asked him when the ship goes to port. He told me it's about a month, but that I shouldn't try and run away or anything, cause they already made a deal with my people. What? I had no idea who my people were, but I was too scared to ask. Then the other crew members called over for lunch. They were making instant ramen, putting shrimp, crabs, clams, all sorts of other stuff in it. They told me to stop acting like I was just about to jump into the sea and to try their ramen. I said no at first, but they laughed at me, saying that there weren't any sleeping pills or stuff like that in it, and gave me some anyway. A man's gotta live, so I ate it. It tasted better than I expected. As soon as we finished lunch, they told me they were going to teach me how to adjust ropes. I pretty much gave up at that point, so I simply answered sure. All I could see anyways was these little islands that no one would have a chance at surviving on for months. I learned how to pull up fish, traps, fill bait boxes, repair fish nets, cook some ramen, get coffee. all sorts of stuff. I kept getting better and I got to the point where I could prepare mackerel, sashimi and a fish stew for the crew. Everyone complimented it. Said I could open a restaurant with that stew. Later on we went through a couple of typhoons. Them and I started forming some kind of a bond, a companionship. Whales were becoming a common sight. At that point, 2 weeks in, the captain told me I was pretty good and asked me if I was interested in officially joining the crew. When I thought about it, I would have been fired from the Corp anyway, so this seemed like a legit opportunity to make a living. This was the first time I ever got a compliment after all. What am I doing now? Well, I've been promoted and now I'm living fine. I found true happiness in cracking open a cold one after a hard day's work, covered in seawater and sweat. I'm at the port now, where we gotta take off soon to catch some more shrimp. Never know what future holds, bros. Sometimes I think about those other folk who were at the meetup that day. Not that I really wanna snoop around and find out though. I just try to keep a positive mind. I wanna say they're hopefully doing good just like me. Oh, it's time to say out. See you guys. What? Wait, what? This is so confusing. So they rounded up bunch of employees, they gave them the scan, and one of the employees teleported onto a fucking boat. He got a job there because he was so good, and he just worked there till the day that he died. And he was fired from the Lobotomy Corporation. What? Bro, what is this abnormality? That's so confusing. What the fuck? Okay, I did not expect that, not at all. Fuck no. Okay, Alriune. I think that's how you say it. An abnormality that knows of spring's genesis and autumn's passing. Its surface is smooth, as if it were ceramic. In the place where the abnormality's eyes should be, it is empty. The cracks and openings are instead filled with growing plants. Alriune, a lovely one, a doll yearned to be human. It was adored by people, its pupils soulful. Alriune abandoned in the dark forest. She is from the dark forest? Oh! Its eyes stolen by crows, lusting for glitter. Its mind, life and heart slowly withered away, Alriune lacking eyes, but all-seeing a human yearned to be a doll, bearing the hope to return to dust. It shall never go back to the grave with all that desire to live. What? This one is confusing as fuck. Okay. Chi. Forsaken murderer. Okay. Death abnormality. An abnormality whose brain is imbued with rage, screams and malicious cries. There is a wound on his forehead that never seems to heal. He hates everyone and everything. He wears a straitjacket, but it is as free as any man. No amount of chains and restraints is enough to prevent him from committing violence. He had to wear a straitjacket. Some say he was a death row inmate from a federal prison. The researchers were always cautious around him. They felt that the straitjacket couldn't contain him. A researcher wanted to study the murderer's brain to prove that innate evil existed. It was difficult to determine who was worse, a man who murdered the innocents with no remorse, or the researchers who wanted to open up his brain to solicitate their curiosity. A wide range of medicine and chemicals were injected into him. Some were used for the sake of humanity's future, while others were for new medical techniques. They all had the potential of changing the world. The researchers were getting more and more excited, although they didn't openly express so. It was almost palpable that they said they found cure, but they never said what was cured. Oh, so it was just nothing but an excuse to torture him a bit more, basically. Probably, at least. The prisoner spoke less and less, his aggressiveness was suppressed, but at the same time he lost himself. After an extensive interview, he was permitted to have straitjacket removed. It feels like my head is turning into metal. I sometimes hear metal and cracks in my head. As days passed by, he began inflicting self-harm. He would continuously hit his head on the wall or hard surfaces. He insisted on checking if his head was really turning into metal. One day, they eventually decided to have him to leave him with the hope that he would stop once he was wounded. However, with blood pouring down his face, he wouldn't stop until his wounds were so deep the white of his skull were peeking through. He had to wear the straitjacket again, but he was no longer feared or monitored like before. Researcher died. It would have been difficult to identify him without his ID card, as his head was violently crushed. Like security meant that the door was open, left unlocked or unattended. The prisoner that everyone believed to be confirmed was moving around on his knees. My head turning into metal, folds in my brain being flattened. He kept repeating the strange words, and the final procedure was quickly put in place. Treatment was halted, and he was dissected so his brain could be used for research. How do I know? I sedated him myself. He muttered nonsense until the end. End begins, end begins, end. So yeah, so god damn. They basically tortured him until he went mad. Child of the Galaxy. It was night, veiled in gentle mist. A barefoot child was looking at me. He was crying in his dreamy eyes filled with sorrow. The sadness hanging on his face stopped me in my tracks. He said he lost something precious. When I offered to help, he gave me a big smile. A teardrop fell from a child's dewy eyes. A star showered from the sky. The world falls into slumber. Dream in ecstasy lullaby. That night, the galaxy descended with bare feet. Excerpt from the diary of an employee redacted who committed suicide. Okay. It takes the form of a young boy with big eyes and skin that resembles the sky. The child shows great enjoyment with talking and playing with others. He has a strong attachment to the act of making contact with another. If the child, an employee, reached a certain level of intimacy, he will be given a small pebble to the employee and now considers his friend. The employee will feel happiness and vigor while in possession of the pebble. However, this pebble will do more than just good if the employee happens to enter any containment unit other than his. If the employee in possession of one pebble of the child's pebbles, the sign of their strong friendship, dies, he will show deep grief and sorrow for their loss. Except some employees' redacted diary. Redacted. Date. Okay, the dates are redacted from now on, okay. I looked into the child's eyes for a while. I may have spaced out for a bit, but because his eyes were so dreamy, I wanted to pet him. But I remembered my co-workers telling me not to have personal feelings towards abnormalities. I told him my name. I repeated it with wide eyes, as if he found out a big secret. Each time he called my name, it felt like it became something more than just a familiar thing I had been living with. When another employee entered the child's containment unit, he did not follow that employee and looked for me instead. I felt basically triumphant after hearing about that. The kid follows me, not you. The moment I entered the child's room, he jumped into my arms crying. When I finally set him down, he shed a tear that became a small white pebble that fell in my hand. Please don't lose it, and don't give it to anyone else, the voice mumbled. Quote, do you like it? Do you more than you like me? The boy quietly asked when I arrived after finishing working with other abnormality. I asked how he knew what I was doing. He answered lightly, isn't it obvious? I know everything, whatever you do, wherever you go. His gaze lay on the pebble. Then he smiled. He gave me goosebumps. I tried to get rid of myself of the pebble, but I realized it was beyond my control. I didn't get what I'm talking about right now. But you still treasure it, right? The child smiles at me. Smiles, 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 smiles. I can't get this pebble off of me. My only hope is to wait for the child to tire of me. I'm waiting for that day. But will it ever come? People tell me I'm an excellent employee. Idiots. They don't know a thing. Shut up. I can't take it anymore. I can't escape him. I thought I was in charge. But the truth is, I was just a pebble in his hands. The whole time, whatever I do, whenever I go, I hear his whispers. I have to end it. But I'm not sure if I can. Quote, I came from afar. I'm so glad to meet you. But become a pebble. Let's walk the galaxy together. I hear his whispers and breath. Pitch black darkness follows. Just like the night I met him. Holy. So this is... Fucking hell. Basically, what should I call this? I don't want to say it. I am not saying that shit. I wanted to say child yandere, but that sounds like so fucking bad and disgusting. Okay, whatever. Let's skip. Oh my lord. There's so many abnormalities. Oh my lord. Yeah. Hey, birdie. Finally. Punishing bird. A small inconvenient bird that punishes the evil, guilty, and all sorts of irreverent people. Some employees have said that it is cute when the bird mightily flutters its tiny wings. People have been committing sins since long ago. Why do they commit sins knowing it's wrong? The small bird wondered. Quote, it must be because there is no one to punish people for their misdeeds. If someone takes that role, there is no foul act would happen in this world ever again. With this in mind, the little bird left the forest it had been living in and never went back. Okay, if I had to pick one abnormality, I think I would pick the birdie, right? Because if it starts pecking you, you just need to stand there, right, for a while. You'll get pecked quite a bit, but like, you get the idea. It's not that bad. And having a punishing bird, I think he's chill as fuck. At least I hope so. I mean, at least I fucking hope so, right? Okay, Little Red Riding Hood. Let me complete one more page because 1, 2, okay, after that okay. I'm gonna complete one more page because I think I can ram this into 2 videos only, so that I'm not stretching too much. Right? This one will be the longest because, you know, Apocalypse Bird exists. That sounds so evil. Excuse me. Little Red Riding Hood Mercenary. She's a female. No, she is a female. Yeah. I hope. Quote, I'm a pro. If you make a request, then I might help you. I used to be expensive, but I'll cut you some slack here. Under one condition, hand that dreadful cunning bastard over to me. If you ever see him, I'll hang his head over my bed. Only then can I get up in the morning without having a nightmare. An imposing abnormality taking the form of a female warrior. Would. Fuck it, I'm saying it. I would fuck her brains out. Okay. Okay. A female warrior with a striking red hood. Her fried hood has initials embossed in it. Unreadable due to damage the hood has taken. Many patches can be seen on the hood, suggesting that it's been well worn. According to her own claims, she used to be a mercenary before coming to this facility, wandering around without fixed residence. She does not trust others easily. She has an extreme fondness for battle. She is unusually uncomfortable with parts of her face, body being exposed, or looking at the mirror. Other numerous symptoms of paranoia have been observed in her behavior. She has a strong desire to resolve emergency situations when they break out. She calls it a request of some kind. Since this behavior is consequently helps the management, but the company recommends putting it to use depending on the situation. Fuck me, I stuttered like hell. The following contains information that employee of every level should note. Oh, every level, holy. However, when she encountered the big bad wolf, the situation will change drastically. She will undergo several psychological transitions, including sudden deparalyzation and intermittent explosive disorder. What the fuck? Why not? Oh, so difficult. This encounter will lead to serious collateral damage. It is advised to avoid any case where the two may face each other. Quote, between us, there is no victory to be won. All I think is how I'll kill that bastard in way more gruesome and painful than last time. Thus, there is no toad to rise. There is no delicious baked cakes to eat or wine to drink. I got used to grinding the eggs instead of picking flowers when I was 15. Holy, okay, I like you. I really like her. I know it's an abnormality, but I really like you. It's like the story of the original Little Red Riding Hood, basically actually losing everyone and letting her rage just completely take over. That is cool as fuck. I like that. I very much like that. Okay. I see you. Okay. That's cool. That is cool as fuck. I'm not gonna lie. I really like this abnormality. The big and will be bad wolf. An abnormality in the shape of a wolf with transparently damaged fur. It is bipedal. And it is capable of communication to some extent. It always attempts to detour employees or breach. Such actions are easily preventable, since it shows obvious signs in behavior and conversations before doing so, making this abnormality fairly easy to manage. The incident on the day of Redacted was an alerting event for many employees. The moment Red Riding Hood ran into the wolf, the situation spiraled out of control. Prevent the two from meeting at all costs, considering the potential damage it may cause. It could be a wise decision to sacrifice a few employees to divert their attention away from each other. He had flesh for the first time in a long time, and its taste was so good. In the corner of his eyes, a familiar piece of red cloth stood out from the wardrobe. He may or may not have seen it before, but he didn't really care about it. Since then it got harder and harder to keep himself in check. Still, it didn't matter to him. After all, he was destined to be a big bad wolf. Oh. There may be lots of stories out there, but no story is as disgusting as the wolf's role. It was a sin to be born as a wolf. No one cared about the wolf's name. It has to be called the big bad wolf. All wolves raised to become giants, ferocious and hairy monsters. Wolves could not eat other animals, even if they were starving. Wolves could not cross the line when doing bad things. A wolf had to be punished. The wolf always needs to be an example. Wolves could not make friends with anyone, omitted. Poor doggo, what the fuck? So basically this story forced him to be bad because of destiny. Because he was written to be bad. That's really cool. Okay. I like that. That's such a cool lore bit. Yeah, fucking hell. Motherfucker, you're a death. What? Why are you so long? What? You're a fucking test, bitch. Oh my lord. What the fuck? Okay. Fucking hell. Okay, Fragment of the Universe. An abnormality that resembles a child's innocent doodles. Originally, it has no stable form. Its shape would continuously morph to this day. Its aspects still change, albeit at a much slower pace. Component analysis has revealed that the abnormality consists of matter that does not exist on Earth. It is noble of metaphysical appearance that one cannot explain with words. It often shows incomprehensible linguistic activity when employees try to decipher its speech. See document 1, employee David's song. But their mental contamination level rose beyond the limit. Within several days, they suffered severe psychosis and had to be quarantined. Holy. The abnormality's tentacles, which are quite different from what we consider the average tentacle, for simplicity's sake, we've monitored them as tentacles, can be pierced through the barrier of humanity. Employees impaled by the tentacles will suffer semi-permanent brain damage. When the abnormality escapes the containment unit, it will emit a noise in the corridor. As the sound makes what could be considered as a melody and syllables, we consider it singing. However, none of our staff can precisely remember it, given that most of the time they were unable to describe it due to their serious brain damage. Those who were within 100 meters of the singing called it the sound unheard of this world. Because of these descriptions, we titled this as Echoes from the Beyond. See document 2, singing. Experiment 1, possibility of communication. We have determined that the abnormality has an intelligence similar to or even higher than that of humans, and gave it a simple language learning course. As a result, a crude communication by combining the words has become possible. The following excuse me. The following is a segment of the communication record from the abnormality. Q. Are all of your kind similar in appearance? A. Negative, outside, child. C. Picture, face, happy, change, form. Why have you come here? Knowledge, share, human. Why do you want to share your knowledge with us? Understanding, no, knowledge, moment, no, universe, coincidence, negative, none. This section is an attempt to decipher the conversation with the abnormality. No, I mean, it said that they want us to understand the moment of the universe, but it's not a coincidence that they showed up. I think. I hope. I don't know. 1. It based its form on a picture drawn by a child. It changed its form because child's expression while drawing it was happy. 2. It came here to share its species' knowledge with us. Then when we fully understand that knowledge, we will know their ultimate goal. 3. There is no such thing as a coincidence in the universe. Yeah, I think the third one. Experiment 2, an experiment on laughter. After watching a video about laughing for 30 minutes, the abnormality understood the concept of laughing. After that, when an employee entered its containment unit to work with it, it would sometimes emit a strange noise with that appearance to be the shape of a smile on its face. It looked like it was mimicking laughter. Experiment 3, comparison of symbols. We thought it a meaning of various symbols along with the language. Among them was a shape of a heart. This symbol provoked a distinct change in the abnormality. Showing the abnormality is a picture of a heart. This symbol is the symbol of a heart. Many people believe that emotions come from the heart, and this symbol is used to express positive emotions or liking towards someone, omitted. Afterwards, several symbols resembling hearts were seen on the abnormality's body. It seemed to understand that the symbol could be used to express friendliness towards humans. Combining the results of the previous 2 experiments, we confirm that this abnormality is non-hostile to humans and wishes to become friends. Document 2. Employee David's song. David was famous in his department for his attempts to communicate with the fragment of the universe. He was an intellectual who enjoyed reading philosophical books or gazing at the stars. He held interest in the abnormality. As such, he got a job. He investigated its language and behavior purely out of personal interest. So what became of David? Eventually he succeeded in entering his domain of the fragment of a universe. However, it was obvious that his small brain couldn't withstand it. He was transferred to the psychiatric ward and died of starvation while singing an unrecognizable song. This is why the abnormality's voice cannot be revealed to the public. Audio record echoes from the universe, currently removed. Document 2, singing. Why didn't you tell me earlier that this abnormality was responsible for their conditions? I have no idea if there is any pattern, but they all show the same strange behavior on the exact same day. Can you imagine? Excuse me. Can you imagine a group of patients staring at the sky with dazed faces, wailing strange noises in the corridor at night while everyone is asleep? I had much a difficult time persuading the other patients that they must have been practicing for the company's upcoming Halloween event. Psychiatric treatment and medicine won't help. Coming, still coming. That's what I say every single fucking night. Okay, I'm gonna shut up now. They keep repeating these words, and anything else they utter is not from any language we know. I think sending them to a general hospital was an unwise decision. Doctor from the records deleted word. Holy moly. Okay. And that's just a death. That's not even an aleph or anything like that. That's a death. Fucking hell. Okay. Crumbling Armor. Okay. An armor that seems to have been hundreds of years old. An engraving on the bottom says life is only granted to those who hold no fear of death. Obviously, putting on this armor is forbidden by the company regulations. Note, there have been rumors that employees pretending to put on the armor for fun. Please look into this immediately. This armor was secured from a museum. The information below is a fragment of its legend. This armor belonged to General Redacted, who joined the war of Redacted during the year of Redacted. It was a family heirloom passed down through many generations. The general always wore this armor to keep himself protected. By a stroke of bad luck, however, an arrow flew into a gap in the armor, killing him instantly. Somehow the armor was undamaged. After the death of General Redacted, the armor was presented to Commander Redacted of Battalion 00. The commander was always seen as steel-clad each time he sent out into battlefield. During one of his battles, the commander fell from his horse while fleeing from the enemy and died due to fatal injury upon his skull. Still, the armor once again remained undamaged. There are many others throughout his armor's history who have had their hands on it, and each and every one of them has died in battle. Meanwhile, the armor still kept the pristine condition. Over the years, the armor made its way to a warrior named Redacted. He was known for simply keeping the armor in storage, not wearing it for a single battle. Eventually, Redacted died of an old age after participating in dozens of wars without sustaining a single injury. During his lifetime, the armor's right arm became damaged, and there was no sign of exterior impact. Redacted's family later donated the armor to a museum. After running a few tests on the armor, we come up with the following conclusion. If this armor is worn by a covered employee, their chances of fatal injury and death are drastically increased. Inversely, when an employee who holds no fear of death wears it, their chances of injury and death are exceedingly decreased. One of our personal managers suggested an entrance test where interviewers wear the armor and walk around in it for 10 minutes. This suggestion was immediately shut down. Fucking hell. So you become basically almost immortal when you have this armor and you fear no death. That's really cool. I am itching to pick this abnormality. Which one would you guys pick? It does make me wonder. Okay. The Judgement Bird, a bird that used to judge the living creatures in the dark forest. Carrying around an unbalanced scale, the scale always tilts the same direction, but it doesn't know this as its eyes are covered, or perhaps it is turning a blind eye to this truth. In fact, the bird was once an even-handed justiciar. Its scale would never neglect the weight of even the smallest sin. The long bird made a scale that was capable of weighing any sin to maintain the peace in the forest. At one point, the bird's eyes could see through anything. The eyes always shone brightly, burning like stars in the night sky. But it gave its eyes to the big bird in order to protect the forest. Now only the void filled its eye sockets. The bandage as it in tears, like it could tear it off at any moment. The bird's face was once covered in gleaming feathers, but they fell out as they spent too much time without sunlight. All that remains is the unjust scale the Longbird continues on doling out judgment. So that's how you get the ego gift. It basically falls off of him because it's so, tore up. Oh boy, okay. Apocalypse Bird, Aleph. Known to have come from the world filled with sin, many employees fear the advent of this abnormality. To talk about this bird, we first need to tell the story of the Black Forest. We must remember the forest that was once peaceful and beautiful. And the apocalypse shall follow. The tale of the Black Forest. Once upon a time, 3 happy birds lived in a warm and lush forest. The birds had no names, so the creatures of the forest would call them Big Bird, Long Bird, and Small Bird. Everyone lived freely and happily outside together, in a peaceful forest. The birds wanted the forest to be safe, more than anyone else. That way, creatures from the outside could visit and have fun. It was a warm and sunny afternoon when a stranger visited this beautiful forest. He was a traveler, pioneer and a prophet, but at the same time he was a nobody. He wanted to enter the forest, but the birds found him suspicious, so they didn't let him in. The stranger angrily told the birds as he left, quote, "Soon a tragedy will befall the forest. I will be tainted with misdeeds and evil. It will be." And there will be constant conflict. The tragedies will only stop when a terrible beast appears and devours everything. The sun and moon will shine upon the forests no longer. The forest will never go back to what it was before. Holy. The birds, worried about the prophecy. What if the conflict really does break out and the beast shows up to harm the forest, just like the man said? That's when the birds decided to become the guardians of the forest. They loved this forest more than anyone else did. So they wanted to protect the creatures living in the forest, to keep the peace. Big Bird with its many eyes decided to watch over the forest for intruders, for Big Bird's eyes could see very far and see things we cannot see. And somebody said, but what if a beast shows up in the middle of the night, when the sky is dark and everyone is asleep? Worriedly the Big Bird burnt all the feathers to make for an everlasting lamp. Now creatures of the forest were under Big Bird's constant watch, day and night. To keep the forest's peace, Longbird weighed the sins of those who entered the forest, for Longbird's scale was fair and just, and could weigh any and all sins. Then somebody said, but what if the scale doesn't tip in either direction? Someday, worried Longbird made a scale that always tipped to one side. That way, every judgment will yield a clear verdict. Smallbird decided to punish the creatures' wrongdoing with its beak. Then somebody said, but your beak is so small no one would find it hurtful. Worried Smallbird tore its mouth wide so it could swallow any creature in one bite. Holy! No one could visit the forest anymore, and bad rumors about the forest began to spread outside. I heard terrible things happen to any creature that enters the forest. The Big Bird is always watching the creatures of the forest. There is no freedom. The Longbird's scale isn't fair at all. The Smallbird's punishment is so scary. The birds got upset. We worked so hard to protect the forest. Why doesn't everyone appreciate our effort? Fewer and fewer visitors came to the forest. More and more creatures were complaining. Fights broke out daily. And yet the birds continued to work even harder and to make the forest peaceful again. But no, this forest is too vast and wide. The three of us aren't enough to protect all of it. But there is no creature to protect this forest but us. If we combine our power, we will become stronger. Oh no. Oh boy. The day when Big Bird's eyes that could see hundreds of kilometers away, and Longbird who could judge any sin, and Smallbird's mouth that could devour anything united into one. Darkness fell upon the forest. Creatures screamed in terror and feared the sight of the bird. The forest fell soon into mayhem. Then in the middle of all the chaotic cries, someone shouted, "It's the beast, a big scary monster lives in the black dusky forest." Holy. The beast is here. The three birds, now as one, looked around, but there was no one to be seen. The Big Bird began to prowl the forest, looking for the beast. The forest would be in trouble if the beast really showed up, but there was nothing. There were no creatures, no sun and moon, and no beasts. All that was left was the bird and the black forest. Since then, they were only night dark as pitch. Rumor says there is a terrible beast in the black forest where no one lives. Someone survived? No way, what the fuck? Someone actually survived? What the fuck? Okay, survivor's testimony. Every single light in the facility went crazy. They kept flickering and flickering. I couldn't even use my lighter. Then this warm light shone through it all. It looked like a warning twilight or a growing sunrise. Though, as we all know, sunlight can make its way into the facility. Everyone silently gazed at the light. Suddenly darkness and a weird ray of light were enough reason to be frightened. It was scarier than anything gory we'd seen here. It was a true fear of the unknown itself, omitted. Something from afar was coming our way. Incandescent lights, like stars from outer space, were marching towards us. It looked like Big Bird's eyes, but it wasn't that abnormality. I could hear these long arms stretching from the floor. Someone broke the silence and whispered, "That guy over there couldn't run away in time." There was an employee kneeling on the floor. Perhaps he couldn't sense the danger approaching behind him. Behind him. And once he noticed, it was too late. He couldn't even scream. Nobody would have been able to then. He just meaninglessly struggled to move its legs, desperate to run from the beast. There was no heroic act of someone standing up against the monster. Not even a yell to warn him. Everyone just watched him, waiting for the terrible thing that was about to happen. Each step sent a tremor through the whole facility. The monster was moving with such slow steps, but it seemed to be fast. In the blink of an eye, it devoured the nameless employee in one bite. And right after that, everyone started screaming in chaos. I had gone through handling countless suppressions, but that day, for the first time, I regretted ever joining the company. I was certain I wouldn't get out of here alive. This helplessness overwhelmed me. I couldn't even think about fighting back against that monster, and many others who were feeling the same. I think I'm the only one who stayed sane enough to write this among all the survivors. The company will never tell our newbies about the existence of that monster. However, I wanted to leave them with a warning at the very least. That's why I'm writing this. So Apocalypse Bird is an ultimate being. You can't do anything against it, basically. That's crazy, okay. Okay, one thing. Why are you so long? Oh my lord. Okay, let me do this one. The King of Greed. The first bit of humanity's desire started with one bite of a sweet apple. We've been banished from Eden for that sin, and now we're standing inside a vast orchard. My basket is so large, all the fruits of the world can't make it full, but it is so bad to lust for honey when there are flowers. After all, we are born to pursue happiness. Happiness became obsession, obsession became greed, and the greed forever solidified to become a golden amber. The happiness in the beginning, still holding a smile, dwells inside. The first seed of a desire originated from the pure yearning for happiness. The tiny seed grew larger and larger, hungering for more. Over time, the seed hardened and turned into a piece of shiny gem. Enticed by its sheen, a starving fish swallowed it, but it only made the fish even hungrier. The desire of people usually go unfulfilled. Many desires are abandoned, but they are not completely gone. They hide deep in the subconscious, lurking at the bottom of a lake, ready to spring up at any moment. However, the yearning for happiness may also rear its head from time to time, darting its tongue like a snake. As soon as a tiny piece of bait... Hold on a second. Yeah, good. I'm fine. As soon as a tiny piece of bait falls into the river, the hungry fish will come up and snatch it in an instant. We delude ourselves to be highly rational beings who are in full control of these things, but it's such a preposterous belief. It's laughable. We don't have much control over ourselves as we believe. The magical girl, who was no longer a magical girl, ate many things. Authority, money, fame, and many other forms of pleasure. She ended up eating away anything in her sight. Now only vicious greed remained. Someone's diary. Many people have secretly wished for a hero. They said there was once someone called soul therapy. What? Something called soul therapy? The fuck? What does it feel like to have an ill soul? We are all healthy, but maybe all of this is a tragic illusion. Once there were people who tried to change the world. We all remember them. We all remember how they met their downfall. Desires. I know of desires that ruin all things. We no longer believe in something, nor do we entertain a hope for a miracle. We don't think about why they've changed and why we don't blame them. For we have realized that endless despair brings despair. What? Endless desire brings despair. Okay, I've been reading for too long. I sometimes feel a terrible dejection, but I do not know where the pain comes from. Many people have secretly wished for a hero. Quote, deep in the sorrow of the world, greed deeper still than agony. Sadness says, begone, pass away, but greed seeks eternity. Deep, deep eternity. Okay, I ended over here. This abnormality is gonna give me PTSD. Look at how long it is. Oh my lord, holy shit. So, okay, 1, 2, okay, so I still have 3 pages. That's like 2 more episodes. Okay, I'm gonna end it here. We left off at this abnormality. Okay, it's gonna be 3 videos on this, so I'm gonna always do 1 reading episode for abnormality, for, you know, Lobotomy Corporation, and 1 episode day after that for Library of Ruina, so that we make progress over there, but so that I have all of this done. I'm then, after all of this, gonna make 1 big episode with all the timestamps on all the abnormalities, so that you can just skip around and find your abnormalities faster. For the people that, you know, care. So, okay, I'm gonna end it here. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you so much for supporting. This is just so that we have it done. So, I remember it, people. Little Prince is the... Okay, that sounds very bad. Oh, my lord. Okay, we ended over here. That took very long because the text is long as fuck. But yeah, tomorrow we're gonna probably complete all the way down here. And then a day after that, we're gonna do these. So, we should be fine. Okay, there will be a Doro in the video. Find her. If you find her, congratulations. Tell me in the comments, I'm gonna pin you. And as always, have a nice day, or night, or whatever the fuck. And thank you so much for all the support. Thank you all to all the members. Truly, thank you. You don't know how much it helps. And remember, the Doro challenge still is a promise. So, if you find enough Doros and you rank in the top 1 or 2, depends on the prize pool, you're gonna get a little bit of cash. So, thank you so much for all the support. Thank you so much for giving me this opportunity. Truly, thank you. I'm gonna go to sleep because my throat feels like a used condom. Holy fuck. Okay, do tell me which abnormality you would choose though. So far, we ended with King of Greed. I would personally pick either the armor, because I don't mind if I die. Or, to be completely honest... Little Red Riding Hood. Probably. Because she's chill. No, like, she is chill. As long as she doesn't, you know, go against the big bad wolf, or you don't say some bullshit so that she would kill you, she is completely chill. Right? So I would pick either her or the Crumbling Armor. Okay, that's all. Thank you all so much for everything. Truly. Thank you so much for giving me this opportunity. I am gonna go to sleep now. Okay, hold on. One more thing. I did put a poll. If I should go back into my old real world and, you know, go to Hem Pang Pang. Now, a lot of people told me that the reservation take fucking months. So, will that ever happen? I don't know. Okay, if we grow big enough, sure. But I'm gonna need a walking translator because I know nothing. I don't know how to speak Korean. I just know Czech, Slovakian, and like English. And that's it, right? Teeny tiny itty bit of Polish, but that's like only I understand a few words. Like bober kurwa, right? So you get the idea. I don't know anything about Korean. Not at all. So, thank you. Thank you so much for everything. I am gonna go to sleep and you should too. Good night and thank you so much. Good night.